Hey everyone, it's Dusty Go-Goat. Welcome back to my headcanon. Today I want to talk about what Pokemon games we can expect to see in the next few years. I've got a pumpkin back here. It looks like a lot of you are not subscribed. If you found this video, consider subscribing. This is the #1 place for Pokemon rumors, speculation, and celebration. This is ginger flavored seltzer. Okay, I'm scrolling 4chan and I found this post. It shows the topographical map of Kanto and Johto. There's a whole bunch of different topics here, and this post seems to claim the rollout of the next 5 years of the Pokemon franchise, like what games we're gonna see. So right off the bat, it says no further Let's Go game. And this is something that I definitely have been projecting. I don't think Let's Go is gonna be a continuous series. It's funny, anytime something is introduced in the Pokemon games, people, it's human nature. I don't blame anyone, but what seems to happen is everyone flocks to that one thing and says, okay, this is gonna be the foundation of what we're gonna see for the next 10 years in Pokemon. The example we're talking about is Let's Go. People immediately said, this is a fun game. Let's get Let's Go Johto. Let's get Let's Go Hoenn. Are we gonna get Let's Go Sinnoh? What would you even call that game? Let's Go Badoo? Let's Go Raiolu? I think another example of this is everyone's clinging on to the assumption that DLC is gonna be something that's like a bedrock of the franchise. And while that could be true, we don't know that. I think this belief is kind of on the fact that Pokemon used to really hold on to their patterns, right? They would do something for a decade long, and we can only assume that the next game is gonna follow suit because the last 4 games were the same exact thing. Every single game, we get the same type of Pikachu clone, we get the same box legendaries, we get a Route 1 bird, we get a Route 1 rodent, we get the 3 starters. These are things that just always happen. So I think it does make sense that people would assume this, but I'll tell you this, Let's Go was a fun game. I think it was a way for the Pokemon company to capture Pokemon Go players and bring them into the main series. It was a nice segue. So as far as this post goes, I'm on its side. Whether or not this is a prediction or if this is an actual leak, I think this holds water so far. I don't think we're gonna see more Let's Go games. I think, a lot of people think there's gonna be Let's Go Johto. What I think is actually gonna happen is we're gonna get a Heart Gold Soul Silver remake, a remaster by Ilka. Ilka just spent all this time, all these resources to make this Gen 4 engine. There's no reason why they couldn't reuse that to make a Heart Gold Soul Silver game. They could make a Fire Red Leaf Green game. They can make a Platinum game. They can make Black and White. They can make a Black and White game. There's nothing, I feel like there's nothing stopping them from doing that. And honestly, it's something that I welcome. The fact that they have Pokemon following you. Every Pokemon from Generation 1 to Generation 4 can follow you in the overworld. You've done it. You've probably done that in the anticipation of Heart Gold Soul Silver. And because of that, now you're tacking it on as a staple feature for the Diamond and Pearl remakes. 100% Heart Gold Soul Silver. Write that down. October 2021. That's what's happening. Generation 9 will be a singular game. No more dual games. We will instead have a dual DLC. This is cool. This is like a little twisted. It makes sense, right? It makes sense. It seems easy enough to guess, but it really makes sense. The whole that whole gimmick, that was mostly, it's a good decision. You pretty much double your revenue. But it's a cool feature because it gives each player a unique experience when they're playing their game, right? It's not like we're all playing the same game and then we also do whatever we want in our own game. Off the bat, you're making a decision off the bat. When you're in the store and you see that there's 2 games, without even agreeing that you're gonna purchase the game, your brain automatically is thinking, which one do I like better? And then just by that's the gateway to get you to start buying a game. They would be leaving something on the table, but for completionists who like to buy both games, I don't think it's worth it anymore. It's not like you're paying $60 for 2 games, 2 Game Boy games. You're paying $120 for 2 Switch games, and essentially you don't even need that anymore because on the Switch you can create another profile where then you can play another game. You can play another run through of the game. So I feel like that is something that they should get rid of. And the solution, the compromise, is introducing dual DLC. What if you get 2 full DLCs that you can choose between, and you can obviously get both? So it's you buy your base game, everyone's on the same page, but then you choose which DLC you get. And then you kind of want to take that a step further. Treat it like an online MMO. I'm not saying I want an MMO Pokemon game, but if you treat it like that, if you make a base game that everyone has, people will be buying Generation 9 games for the course of 5 years if every year they add on DLC. I think that's what they should do. That would keep the same game files so fresh. It would keep me going back. I haven't played Sword and Shield in like a year. If I'm being honest with you, I'll turn it on. Like I'm gonna get the Data Zarud. I'm gonna get the shiny Celebi. But like I honestly don't play Sword and Shield anymore because I've done it all. I think this would be a great idea. Give me a singular game to focus my attention, my energy. Make it a good game. Hopefully Generation 8 got out all of its growing pains, and Generation 9 is literally the essential console game for Pokemon that we've all wanted. And then just keep getting us DLC. The DLCs are nice. You get new regions. I think the DLC solves the problem that people always say. They always say like the Pokemon machine has to keep turning. If you give us DLC, that's 5 new expansion sets of the TCG. That's new plushes. Give us new Pokemon. I kind of want them to blur the line between what a generation is again. You know, we're kind of getting that with Meltan. Okay, this next part is kind of where we can start saying, you know, this is true, this is not true. Based on Australia. They're saying Generation 9 is going to be based on Australia. Same graphics and system as Sword and Shield. Larger open world areas. Same style as Sword and Shield. Okay, so that goes against what I just said about, you know, Gen 9 being optimal. If we're on the bright side, if they're using the same engine as Sword and Shield, then what that means is that they should have enough resources to introduce all of the Pokemon, which means Generation 9 will have all of the Pokemon in the game. If Generation 9 is using the same engine as Generation 8, they must have every Pokemon in the game. That has to be it, and that's going to be their selling point. Generation 9, a new adventure, capture every Pokemon ever. That's a little disappointing reading that. You know, I try to go into these rumors thinking, if this was real, like, do I like this? And I don't know if I like that. I'm kind of over the National Dex, to be honest. I'm 3 years out from what was the National Dex crisis, and I'm kind of okay with the National Dex not being full. I would prefer an optimal gaming experience. Let's see what the rest of this has to say. Next installment in the Legends series will be Pokemon Legends Mew, set in a former region that would go on to become Kanto and Johto. So kind of going back to the first point about everyone assuming that, okay, we're getting Let's Go, now every game's gonna be Let's Go. I kind of feel like people hopped on this as well, where it's like, okay, Legends Arceus looks sick, but we haven't played it yet, but it looks sick. So I would like every single region to have a Legends alternative. And I'll tell you, more Legends games, they're positioned better to actually happen. I think the formula that they're doing right now with BDSP in Pokemon Legends Arceus, it's a good one, right? You're remaking the game and you're also expanding on the existing region, the lore, the Pokemon, everything, right? I think it is set up way better, where Let's Go was just like a fun little weird spin-off. If we didn't get Let's Go, we were gonna get an Ilka-made Kanto, set in a former region that would go on to become Kanto and Johto. Okay, so if we're reading this like it's true, Kanto and Johto having a shared historical region is very cool. That would make sense historically. I do think they would be combined. Their cultures are similar. A lot of the characters travel between Johto and Kanto. You know, we're doing Sinnoh right now. What if the next installment is Johto? Okay, so we're getting these Sinnoh games in a couple months. What if later in 2022, we get Ilka's Heart Gold Soul Silver remake, and then in January 2023, we get a Pokemon Legends Mew, and it takes place in Johto and Kanto. That's what they're saying. And when you kind of flush it out and fit it on the timeline, that actually sounds pretty believable. So at the end of this is where it gets a little weird. Then they start saying that the Legends schedule is Sinnoh, Kanto, Johto, Galar, Alola, XY, and Unova. And I think this is kind of ridiculous. To see that far into the future, I think would be kind of ridiculous. I'm pretty sure the way they have teammates set up, right? The way the company would be structured, or information within the company would be structured, is that every group has a piece of the information, and it's only the directors, the people at the top, who can kind of piece that together into a final game. Maybe this list is really just a projection of what they think could happen in the future. Generation 4 was comprised of Sinnoh and Johto, which also had Kanto in it. And if we are remaking the Sinnoh games, it would make sense the next step is a remake of the Johto, an exploration of the past, right? Of the history of Johto and Kanto. I don't think the Pokemon Company wants to pass up on an opportunity to highlight Kanto. I think we really could be looking at this. You know, I went into this kind of skeptical, but, you know, if we were to assume that we could get more Legends games, which They're putting a lot of time and effort into this. We don't know, but this could be the future of the franchise. You know, when I look at this list and I think about all the shortcomings, all the unanswered questions that I had playing through Galar, seeing Galar on this list right after Kanto and Johto makes me think maybe they left things out to be answered in these future games. Then it says Alola. There's a ton of history in Alola. Why would they not answer some of those questions? Why would they not then answer X and Y and Unova? If they have an engine for Pokemon Legends Arceus, then they'll have the main series engine, which they can make Generation 9 and 10 off of. They'll have the Ilka engine to make true remakes, the Chibi style, Pokemon Follow You. It's very fun. And then the third pillar will be Pokemon Legends Arceus, or Pokemon Legends. Whatever game it is, it'll be Pokemon Legends. It's 3 pillars that the Pokemon Company has to continue to produce games. If the engines are built already, then it becomes much easier for them to reuse those assets to create more games. And if the games are good, if the games are fun, and they continue to explore and introduce new Pokemon, I don't think I can complain. I think if they're fun to play, I can't complain. I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to see Pokemon Legends Kyurem to see the original dragon. I'd be lying to you. And I don't want to lie to you. Okay, now I want to hear from you. Question of the day: what Pokemon Legends game would you like to see most? Do you have a favorite region, maybe a favorite legendary that you would like the games to explore further? Let me know in the comments. I'm gonna go cook some meatballs. I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck hunting.